Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, June 2nd, and I'm here with another Trading Journal walkthrough. So here in the red list, we have trades that I took today, and yeah, we're going to go through each one of them. So starting with ET. So this play was actually a home run play, which for me means 100% or more gain. And as a reminder, I primarily trade options, but I'll let you know if I'm referring to stocks. So for this one, this was an options play. So I got into the trade here at this candle right here. You can see it was a 212 bullish continuation. And I ultimately got out of the candle here at was the one candle of a 212 reversal, bearish reversal to the downside. So in this case, to walk you through what I was thinking as this trade was going on, I'm going to zoom in on the candles a bit here and just talk you through it. So in this case, ideally you're getting in on the one candle. So I would have ideally gotten in on this one candle and set a really tight stop loss because it's either going or it's not. And if it doesn't go, you'll get stopped out very quickly as it goes to the other side. So ones signify equilibrium with buyers and sellers. So they're telling you that it could go either way. It could go to the upside or it could go to the downside. And this is something I'm trying to perfect more in my trading. You're not supposed to enter on twos according to the strat. I have done that before. I actually need to look into the guidance around that because I know you are not. I know that there are some signals around twos, like a bullish 222 continuation, which would be a signal to stay in the trade. But I don't know the thoughts around entering at that point. But I'm really trying to only enter on ones with tight stop losses. So with that said, I did get in on this candle here, and ultimately, there wasn't much guesswork as to whether I should keep it or not. We had a doji formed here, which means it's opening and closing at the same price. And in this case, this doji was an inside candle. And then ultimately, I got out on the one. And the reason I did that for ET versus waiting until this two to get out, this two down, because that would have actually been the reversal, is because ET was actually reaching all-time highs. So if we go and take a look at the daily chart, you'll see here. Actually, let's look at the monthly. That's easier to see a lot at once. So clearly not all-time highs. I said all-time highs, but back in 2015, it looks like it was trading around 35, but all-time highs recently. So 2015, we had this big dump from June to February 2016. So these are all-time highs since this time last year. And at that time, there was full time frame continuation to the upside, and we were at exhaustion risk. So for me personally, I just wanted to secure my profits, especially knowing that I was already in the home run state, because this was already, at the time that I exited the trade, it was about 120% gain. So it was a home run play, well above where I exited, which would have put it at 100% gain. So I decided to exit at that point. And as you can see, it did go to the downside, and it came back up. But yeah, that was a good play. Next up, Roblox. So this play was 21% gain. As you can see, it actually ran even further. So this could have been another home run. But once again, the biggest thing in trading is to protect your capital. So a gain is a gain. And in this case, I was very satisfied with it. I will say, looking at how I traded it, though, I could have done a little better to read the candles. So let's talk through it. So I got in on this candle here, which was a 222 bullish continuation. However, as you can see, the wicks are pretty large on each side of this. So I like to read these as equilibrium. And this gets back to me wanting to get in on one candles and not two candles. So if I'm getting in on a two candle, Like I'm trying not to get in on a 2 candle with a big body or with, small wicks on either side. That's showing, pretty strong buyers or sellers, depending on, if the candle's red or green. But in this case, there was a pretty large top wick and a bottom wick. So I got in on this candle here. It did go 2 down, but I did not stop myself out. So even though, as I told you before, sometimes I'll set an automatic tight stop loss, and sometimes I will just watch the candles and read what they're telling me. So in this case, this 2 down, you can see here there was pretty strong price rejection, lower price rejection, and the sellers were ultimately in control, but they weren't able to sell down and make this a strong, like, large body. So I stayed in, and you can see here it went 2 up, 2 up, and then we started to get again, these longer wicks. Typically, this does mean if you have a larger wick to the bottom side and support up here, that this is a hammer. But it was a hammer that was closing down. So if this had been a hammer that was green, which means that the sellers were in control, I probably would have kept it. But I got out of it on this candle. And the reason I got out on this candle is, in addition with this, strong lower price rejection, there's strong price rejection to the upside. But had I held on to it, I would have seen this doji, I would have seen this 2 down, and then this big 2-2 reversal, and that would have kept running. So I am trying to, read candles and be more, take more insight from what I see there. And I'll also say my sweet spot is trading stocks that are in the kind of maximum $50 range. So anytime I'm getting into like a stock that's more than that, the movements are pretty big. And I just wanted to get my profit. So 21% gain, that was good for me. I was out. But as you see, the candles can tell you a lot, and that continued to run. Next up, FUBO. This is another one where, man, this thing just kept running. And I don't like how I played this one, but let's talk through it because there are things to learn. So I like that I learned, but something I'm not going to do in the future. So this was only a 2% gain. So again, biggest thing, protect our capital. We don't want to lose money. But I could have really, gotten a larger gain on this. So I got in on this candle, and this was 212 bullish continuation. And then we had a 2 up here that I got in on. And again, trying not to get in on these 2s, but if I do get in on the 2s, make sure that wick, it's not, strongly placed. So in this case, I got in here. It did a big broadening formation, a 3 outside candle. And then it almost immediately recovered. It did immediately recover. And in this case, I watched it go up, up. I watched this 2 down, and then I watched it immediately recover up with no wick, just strong buyers. And I was up 20% right here. So again, had I ridden this to the top, that definitely would have been a home run play. I ultimately got out at my 2% gain at this candle here. So my exit was around here. My entry was around here. So yeah, that was a 2% gain. This big 2 down, I got down 12% here, but I wasn't going to get rid of it because I had some other targets on the daily chart that I knew I was confident in. And we did a 212 bullish reversal. And I really should have stayed in at this point, but I don't know. This is where the emotions come in, and you have to, decide what your patience is. I wanted to get into another play. And so I just got out at my 2% gain. But really, that was a 212 bullish reversal. There's no reason to get out at this candle. I definitely should have stayed in. So that's just, taking a minute to say, don't let, I had this big, reversal, this 2-2 reversal here, and that clearly freaked me out watching my profit go away. But I had a very clear sign of another reversal, a bullish reversal. So should have held on to this. But again, no money lost, so no harm, just lessons. Next up, solo. This is the swing trade. I am primarily a day trader. I will swing sometimes if I grab something and, have higher targets based off of charting on the daily or the weekly. In this case, I entered the trade here yesterday. We'll say that's around. I entered below $4. I know, so I entered probably at like $3.99 in the wick of that candle, and then today I exited here in the body at around 410. When you are swing trading options, you have to consider your theta. Your theta tells you how much the contract is going to lose in value each day. So contracts decay, over time, and that theta will tell you that. So this was not as large as the game as it would have been if I had day traded it, because I had to account for that amount that the contract went down a day later. So with that said, I did get out pretty much at the height of this, so that was a good time, but this was not a large gain. It was something like 5 or 8%. So yes, lessons there. AMC, wow. So I did not trade options contracts with this because that just seemed a little more risk than I wanted to put in, and the contracts were just really expensive. So I wasn't interested in that, but I did buy some shares at the beginning of the day, just because I knew, what was going on with AMC. I set a tight stop loss, but not as tight as I do with options contracts, but I set a stop loss essentially against this average daily range bottom range value for the previous 10 days of trading. And yeah, I don't know what I made off of this today. This was like 80 or 90%. I sold around here, but I'm actually still holding on to some shares that I will probably dump before the trading day is over, or not. I'm going to see how this ends up, but it was about 80% gain, so I'm already in profit even if I don't sell the remaining shares that I have. But yeah, AMC was going crazy today, and again, this is pretty much lottery at this point. So be careful if you're trading these meme stocks. And then FSLY and NOX, I did not trade. I just had them on the list because I was watching them. So yeah, that was a really good trading day. Any day I get a home run, that's pretty good. And obviously, FUBO and Roblox, I could have held on a little longer for some more gains, but gains are gains, and I appreciate the lessons. So thank you all for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button. That helps me. I definitely want to keep making these videos for you all. And in addition to the trade walkthroughs each day, I'll be making a trade setup video on Sundays ahead of the trading week. And yeah, thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.